Welcome to Physician Sensei, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on the world of healthcare staffing. We go beyond the hiring process and dive deep into the critical social issues intersecting with healthcare, mental health, veterans affairs, and prison reform. Expect sharp insights, honest conversations, and a dose of humor. Whether you're new to the field, a seasoned expert, or someone passionate about these causes, this is your go-to resource for trends, strategies, and solutions that matter. Hosted by Mary Kelly, a healthcare recruitment veteran with over 15 years of experience, Physician Sensei brings you expert perspectives guided by Mary's hands-on work. Mary's leadership extends beyond recruitment. She's a committed human rights advocate, currently serving on the Veterans Mental Health Council and as a board member, trainer, and support group facilitator for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Get ready to learn, laugh, and challenge the status quo. Here's your host, Mary Kelly.
Could understanding the visa process, deadlines, and costs be your ticket to finding the right candidate or position? Today, we're breaking down the J1, H1B, and O1 visa in addition to the Conrad 30 program.
This episode of Physician Sensei is sponsored by JD Hawkins and Associates. Are you looking for a recruiter who sticks around? JD Hawkins and Associates offers a work-from-home model with unbeatable retention, so you and your clients never have to start over. Head on over to jdhteam.com to learn more.
Today, I'm going to help you navigate the sometimes confusing world of visas, particularly the Conrad 30 program, and break down some of the most common visa types for healthcare providers. Whether you're a recruiter looking to fill a rural or FQHC position, a candidate chasing that American dream, or an employer trying to get a doctor on board before your entire team calls in sick, this episode is about to save you some headaches. Consider me your personal tour guide through this whole visa maze. Did you know that there are 8,000 doctors in the U.S. right now on J1 visas? That's a whole lot of scrubs and stethoscopes. So listen up, because hiring these international docs might just be the solution to your staffing issues. Okay, so let's break it down. A visa is basically like getting an exclusive backstage pass to work in the U.S., except instead of bodyguards, you're dealing with immigration officers. And trust me, they take their jobs seriously. They're like that club bouncer who asks a million questions before letting you through the door. Now, I get it. Talking about visas ain't exactly the most thrilling thing in the world. It's like reading the terms and conditions on your phone. You just hit agree and pray it doesn't come back to bite you later. But you can't do that with immigration, because if you screw this up, someone's getting shipped back home quicker than you can say green card. Stick around as we break down the requirements, deadlines, and costs associated with each visa type. First, a quick word from our sponsor.
Tired of the revolving door of recruiters? At JD Hawkins and Associates, we do things differently. Our boutique, privately owned physician recruitment firm prides itself on zero employee turnover. How? By offering flexible schedules, a work-from-home model, and a focus on work-life balance. We hire and retain the best, ensuring our recruiters are happy so they can make you happy too. Say goodbye to the frustration of starting over with a new recruiter, because you'll always be in good hands with JD Hawkins and Associates. For more information on partnering with us, head on over to jdhteam.com or call 833-534-7327. That's jdhteam.com or call 833-534-7327.
All right, let's start with the J1 visa. Fun fact, if you're on a J1 visa, you're basically signing up to leave the U.S. after your training is done, unless you pull off a waiver. So here's the deal. The J1 visa is for exchange visitors. That means you're here for residency or fellowship, but as soon as that's over, the U.S. is like, okay, pack it up and head home for 2 years. But wait, there's a loophole. The Conrad 30 program lets you skip that whole going home part if you're willing to work in underserved areas. Now, don't get excited just yet. These areas aren't exactly the bustling metropolises that you're used to. They're more like welcome to nowhere population U. The Conrad 30 program lets up to 30 doctors per state stay in the U.S. every year. You've just got to be ready to work in places that really need you, like really need you. You'll need a job offer from a health professional shortage area, or HPSA, as we recruiters call it, and you better be ready to commit to 3 years. The deadline? Usually states start accepting applications in October, but this can vary, so stay sharp and check with your state. The process can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, so you'll need to plan ahead if you're looking to bring someone in for a specific program. And you should always plan for hiccups in the process, like paperwork mishaps, missing information, or additional requests for information. If you're a visa candidate, it's helpful to know if your prospective employer has successfully sponsored visa candidates in the past. It's not a red flag if they haven't. If they have, it just means they're familiar with the process and they likely already have an immigration attorney that they've worked with. What are the requirements? Well, you need a job offer from an employer in a designated health provider shortage area, or a medically underserved area, or MUA. Also, expect a 3-year service commitment. The cost for the J1 visa? Well, that ranges, but typically the filing costs are a few $100s. Employers may cover the waiver application fees, and that can set them back around $1,000 to $5,000, depending on the legal work involved. So if you're a J1 visa holder and you want to remain in the U.S., the Conrad 30 program just might be your best bet. Adjust your expectations, though. Underserved areas are typically located in rural locations, which can be a good distance from airports, malls, and things that major cities have to offer. There are underserved opportunities in cities. There are just fewer of them, and they're typically located in FQHCs, or federally qualified health centers. So what are the rural pros? Well, the first one is compensation. It is generally much higher, sometimes up to $100,000 more than what you would get in a city as a salary. The benefits package is typically pretty robust also. It usually includes signing bonuses that range anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 to all the way up to $200,000. Schedules are typically more flexible, think 4-day work weeks. Patient volume expectations are lighter, meaning you can spend more time with your patients and see fewer in a day. It's just a more predictable schedule because there are less no-shows. The people are nice and they treat you like royalty. What are the cons for being in a rural location? Well, the towns are typically 1,000 to 5,000 people in size, and that can be up to 3 hours from an airport. While rural areas typically pay more, don't expect to find a Starbucks on every corner or any corner. You'll be lucky if they've got a Walmart. Less diversity means it's unlikely that you'll have a local social network that includes a lot of people from your home country. Okay, let's talk about the city. What are the pros to working in the city? Well, number one, you're living in a major city with direct airport access to wherever you want to go, and you've got all the shopping and dining options you could possibly need. Entertainment? Check. Pro sports? Double check. Diversity? Triple check all over that. You also have 1,000% more anonymity in a city than you will ever see in a small town, meaning people are less likely to know your business. Now, what are the cons to working in a city? Well, schedules are typically more rigid, so think 5-day work weeks with set start and stop times. Your templates are typically set, and the schedulers are normally off-site at another location. Patient volumes can be unpredictable, meaning you could see 5 patients today and 30 patients tomorrow. Compensation is typically much, much lower. Think like up to $100,000 lower. And those big signing bonuses you get in rural towns, you can forget about that in the city. Your best move is to sit down and determine what things are most important to you and your family. And then that priority list will help you determine where you want to go. Employers, if you're in need of talent, don't forget to look at physicians on J1s. Check out your state's waiver application process and jump in on that before those 30 slots fill up, because they fill up fast. Side note, the states that fill up first typically are Texas, California, New York, Florida, and Illinois. As someone who's been working with visa candidates for the last 15 years, the best piece of advice I can give you is to start your job search early and sign early so that you can be first in line when the application process opens. Waiting until the last minute will only further limit your options. Next, we're going to talk about the H1B visa, but first, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, JD Hawkins and Associates.
Physicians, your work is demanding, but your job search shouldn't be. At JD Hawkins and Associates, we get it. Our recruiters have families too. We understand the importance of work-life balance, and we're committed to helping you find the right position that lets you do what you love, both inside and outside the hospital. Don't settle for just any job. Let us help you find the one that fits your life. Because when you're happy and balanced, your patients will be too. Choose JD Hawkins and Associates, where your life comes first. To learn more about job opportunities in your specialty, head on over to jdhteam.com or call 833-534-7327. All calls are confidential. That's jdhteam.com or call 833-534-7327.
All right, now let's move on to the H1B visa. This is for the doctors who want to work here and stay put without being told to take a 2-year vacation back home. Fun fact, there are about 65,000 H1Bs up for grabs each year, but about 3 times that number of people are applying. So yeah, it's like trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. Lots of people want them, but only a few walk away happy. The H1B is great because there's no time to go home clause. You can stay put and work assuming you win the lottery. And yes, it is literally a lottery. Employers can file for you, but your odds depend on how many other people have applied. Still, for healthcare providers, especially physicians, H1Bs are worth the effort. The deadline? You've got to apply early. H1B season typically begins in March and the lottery is in April. The requirements, so you'll need a U.S. job offer from a willing employer, proof of your qualifications, and you still want to get this done as early as possible to ensure that the cap isn't maxed out in the state that you're trying to move to. There is a workaround, though. Certain employers, like nonprofits, educational institutions, government research organizations, or hospitals affiliated with universities, are exempt from the state cap. And so that means they can sponsor H-1B visas at any time of the year without worrying about the lottery system or the visa cap being filled. So what's the cost? Well, you can typically expect $1,500 to $5,000 for employers to file the petition. Candidates typically don't pay unless they're hiring their own legal help. Whether you're a physician trying to stay in the U.S. or an employer needing to sponsor talent, time is of the essence. Don't wait. Make sure those H-1B applications are ready to go the minute the window opens. Now let's talk about the O1 visa. So this one is special, and I mean real special. The O1 is for people with extraordinary ability. Basically, if you're out here winning awards, publishing research, or saving lives in ways that no one else can, this one is for you. I like to call this one the I'm a big deal visa. Think of it like the Visa Olympics. If you're extraordinary enough, you can stay in the U.S. for as long as your employer needs you. No cap, no lottery, just you and your impressive skills. But don't get it twisted. They don't hand these out to just anybody. You've got to prove you are the best of the best. Deadlines? Well, applications can be submitted anytime for this type of visa, so there's no lottery you have to worry about. The requirements? You'll need to provide evidence of your extraordinary achievements, and trust me, they're not handing these out like candy. The cost? Well, the fee is about $460, but with lawyer fees, it could go up to $6,000 or more. We've covered the J1 visa, great for doctors who don't mind doing time in the middle of nowhere. The H1B, good luck in that lottery, y'all. And the O1, aka the VIP section of visas, for all you exceptional folks out there. Listen, I've been doing this game for 15 years, and the best advice I can give you is don't wait. Get in early, sign early, and don't get left scrambling. Oh, and if you're ever unsure, hire a real immigration attorney. We have a special treat because I've created a guide that breaks down all of this for you. If you head on over to physiciansensei.com, you can download our exclusive Conrad 30 Overview Guide. It's basically a cheat sheet for the visa process. Thanks for tuning in to Physician Sensei. If this episode helped you out, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend or two. I'm Mary Kelly, reminding you to keep hustling and trust your inner sensei. There's room for all of us to win.